Are businesses right now to worry about tensions lingering even after a deal is signed?
They're absolutely right. The current state of the world is quite gloomy, and we are learning about bad news every day, ranging from terrorist attacks to Brexit and the U.S. China trade war. I believe that we might enter a new phase of global disruptions leading to a new economic crisis, and the U.S. China trade war might be the trigger. We don't really know what's happened in the next few days. Of course, there might be a deal, but I'm quite pessimistic. I think President Trump is now turning his attention after the Mueller report to China, and it's totally uncertain what's happening.
Talking about a potential tech war coming between the U.S. and China, we have seen Huawei shrugging off that pressure put by the U.S. to stop other nations using its technology, with their revenue jumping almost 40% in the first quarter. How much of President Trump's strategy against China and against some of its big companies is working?
Well, the trade war is very much linked to technology and to say who is leading the world in terms of technology. We've seen that Google is feeling the impact in China, Apple is feeling the impact, and now President Trump is fighting back. Of course, Huawei might just be the start, and it's really the question is who is leading the world in the future. I believe that with this rise of populism, protectionism and nationalism, we have less collaboration in the world, and we will see really a new economic crisis on the horizon.
Your view or your skepticism on the trade deal between the US and China is almost contrarian, really. On one hand, we have talk of a signing ceremony happening in late May. Do you think that that's not going to happen, and what could derail things at this late stage?
I don't think it's going to happen. There will be a big summit in China, the Belt and Road Summit, in a few days' time, with 40 heads of state attending. Of course, the US is not being part of it. China is showing its muscles, and I don't think that the US will sign this deal the week after. There have been a lot of negotiations going on, but I can't really see a deal in the making. There's so many issues like intellectual property rights, the investment framework, and the technology sector, which are still very unclear.
We've seen some very good economic data out of China recently as well. Does that strengthen the hand at the negotiating table, and is that data sustainable?
Well, China's fundamentals are still very strong, and China is betting on the future. If you think about indigenous innovation in artificial intelligence, also investment in infrastructure and urbanization, and China is a strong partner on the negotiation table. I don't really think that China will make too many concessions.
We have seen companies like Foxconn diversifying their manufacturing away from China and into India. Are we going to need more moves such as this one if you expect these tensions to continue? Will there be a need for supply chains to be readjusted now?
Absolutely. I think this U.S.-China trade war will definitely disturb global supply chains, and many companies now are moving manufacturing out of China to places like India, but also Indonesia and other parts of Southeast Asia. China's growth might be impacted by maybe 1.5 to 2% if the trade war is really coming through.